How's it going, guys? Paul with Adaptable Survival. And what I wanted to cover today was my experience at the Pathfinder Basic Survival Class earlier this month. So stick with me. Earlier this month, October 2018, I went down to the Pathfinder School in Southeast Ohio. That is run by Dave Canterbury. He's famous for Dual Survival, his Bushcraft 101 book series, as well as his YouTube channel as well. So essentially what the Basic Survival Class is, if you're not familiar with it, is a 3-day, 2-night training class that talks about the 10 C's and how you can use those to affect yourself, basically a rescue or survive a 72-hour emergency situation. So essentially what you're going to go through with the class is talking about the versatility of each item in those categories and how you can use those if you find yourself in a 72-hour emergency situation. So on day one, you're going to meet up with the instructors at a predetermined location that is given in the class description when you sign up for the class on the Self-Reliance Outfitters site. I will put a link to that page so you can go check that out, sign up for a class if you want to. So once they give everyone some time to get to the meetup location, you will head out to the actual school. So Dave and his instructors, or whoever is there to meet you, will lead you out to the property itself. Once you get down in the classroom area, you'll have some time to set up your sleeping arrangements. So for myself, I used a tent. Other people used hammocks. You can use just about any kind of sleeping shelter that you'd want for yourself. Once you're done setting that up, it's basically a morning filled with lectures. So for my class, we went through a lecture on the 10 C's, talking about each category, what was contained in each one. Lecture on blade safety, so that's while using your knife, using your saw. We didn't cover anything with axes. It is not on the gear list, so do not bring one. They will tell you to put it back in the vehicle. And then our final lecture of the morning was self-aid or some first aid improvisations that you can use from your kit to stabilize an injury or treat yourself if you are injured out in the field. So around noon, you're going to load up all of your gear, get your 6mm contractor bag out, and then you will be heading out to Dave's property in the wildlife area behind his property to collect smalls. Do not underestimate how much you have to collect to build fires once you're back. You are going to need a lot of smalls. You'll go through different lectures, so they'll talk about different resources that you can find out in the woods that you can use to build fires. Then you will, for my class, we went through a first aid mock situation where I had to use one arm, put one arm in a sling for a few hours. We made travois, me and my partner, and we had to get our gear back out. About halfway through that exercise, my partner was injured, so then I was able to use both arms and had to take control of the travois the rest of the way. Once you're back down to camp, it's going to be later in the evening, probably 5-6 o'clock, and you're going to have to use the materials that you collected all day to build a fire and get a metal canteen of water to a rolling boil. You are going to need a lot of material to get that fire going. From there, basically, they will call it a night. You will have some downtime to eat, kind of unwind, and get some rest for the second day. Beginning of day 2, you are going to put away your sleeping arrangements. So whether that was a tent, hammock, or some other sort of shelter, you'll put that away in your vehicle, and from this point on are going to only have the gear that is in your pack. That should be everything from the gear list they give you before the class, as well as any food or snacks you are going to need during the class. For my class, our morning consisted of a lecture on navigation, so going through how to use compass, shoot azimuth, all those sorts of things, and then we ran a navigation course after that. So they give you a starting point, give you which color tag you have to follow, and during that navigation course you will have to collect smalls. That is a constant theme through this entire class, so I cannot say that enough, to collect as much as possible. Once you get back, you are going to have to use that materials, all that fire materials, the smalls that you picked up out on the navigation course, to get your metal canteen of water to a rolling boil. After that, my class got a little bit of a break, and then we got into lectures on shelter building. We went through the different knots, how to make a quick deployable ridgeline, a lot of those sorts of things, to build shelters with everything in our 10Cs. After those lectures, we ran a second navigation course. So same thing, you're going to track each of your points. You will actually have to map it as well, which they will go through and teach you everything that you need to know to be successful with that. And you will once again have to collect all those smalls to get water boiling once you're back. Once you're back to camp, aside from getting that water and the fire going, you will have to deploy your ridgeline and create your shelters to demonstrate you have those skills, as well as go through the mapping of your points that they give you. From there, we got another little bit of a break to get some dinner in us before our final exercise, which is a night navigation course. So they will give you a certain amount of time to get back to the camp. After you do the navigation course, you will boil your water, you will build your shelters, do the mapping. So basically using every single skill that they teach you during the course of the class in this final exercise, which will determine if you will get a patch for the class or not. Once they tell you that the testing is done, basically you and your teammate, or if you're on a team with others, will have to build a shelter and a fire for the night, and basically it's downtime until the morning and doing your written exam the next morning. So my thoughts on my experience at the Pathfinder Basic class: it is a very challenging class. It is designed to be that way, so prepare yourself physically and mentally as much as you can. Those were two of the biggest contributing factors to people dropping out of the class during my time there. There were also some health issues with some people, which you really can't control. Those are just going to come up, but making sure you're in the best of health possible to get through that class is definitely going to be crucial. The physical fitness aspect is a huge part of it. The first day is very physical. You're going to burn a lot of calories, be doing a lot of moving, so you want to prepare yourself as much as possible before you get to the class. I will be doing a series here in the near future on what I did to prepare for the class, and basically my general philosophy when it comes to working out, and how I apply that to my time out in the woods. So your mindset will play a huge part in being successful in the class as well. So basically how you are thinking about the challenging tasks that they put you in. Since they can't necessarily put you in a survival situation, they can do a lot to build up stress in you through doing multiple tasks at one time, giving you time limits, those sorts of things. So beforehand, doing whatever you can to find the motivation to get through that class, what motivates you, what's making you have an unstoppable mindset going into it and getting over all the obstacles. For me, it was challenging as well, but I told myself I wouldn't quit the class unless I had to medically. So whether I broke my leg or just got sick for some reason. The nutritional aspect is going to be important as well, not only to give you fuel throughout the day, but also to give you a morale boost from being able to get that food in. Like I said, you're going to want quick access, ready to eat food, so whether that's MREs, protein bars, anything like that, because you're not going to have time to boil water for mountain houses or cook anything over a fire. Hydration is going to be critical as well. You will drink a ton of water, and they will tell you constantly to keep drinking water. For myself, I couldn't even tell you how many ounces of water I drink. I also brought electrolyte tablets with me as well. I will be doing a video in the near future here on different nutritional options that I like to use when I'm out in the field, as well as a video on hydration and different aspects that you want to take into consideration with that. So having these areas nailed down before you get to the class is really going to help you get the most out of it. For myself, I took the Bushcraft 101 class back in June, and from that point until the beginning of October when I went to the basic class, I was preparing myself physically as well as mentally to stand up to the rigors of the class, because I didn't want to fall out for physical reasons or mental reasons. I wanted it to really get through this class no matter what. The only reason I was going to leave was, like I said, for medical reasons. The class is designed to be very challenging physically and mentally. You're going to be put into a lot of physically demanding activities as well as mentally challenging. So prepare yourself for that before you get there. That was a big reason why a lot of people dropped. We started with 18 people, we finished with 10, and of the 10, only 7 patched. Thankfully, I can say that I was one of those people. The class is well worth the money that you pay for it. The instructors are amazing. So at this basic class, we had Dan from Coalcracker Bushcraft, we had Sean Kelly from Corporal's Corner, Josh Enyart from the Gray Bearded Green Beret in the Flint and Steel Critical Skills Group, and Matt Mercer from Black Hat Bushcraft. All those guys are amazing, extremely helpful, really helped you get the skills and knowledge out of the class, as long as you didn't give up on yourself. I do plan on doing the instructor program that Dave and Josh Enyart have put together through their schools this upcoming year, so I'm really hoping to tackle that and get a lot of dirt time before then. I hope this video helped you guys and figure out if that basic class is something that you want to pursue, and at least give you some tips going into it to help you be successful. Like I said, my name is Paul from Adaptable Survival. Don't ever stop developing your mind, your body, and your gear. I'll see you guys next time.